Hi there, this is Val with Folk Art Wings. I'm going to do a flip through of the journal I've been working on for months now. It's colossal. It's got a 2-inch spine, I think. Let me get a ruler so I can get the stats correct here. 2 1/4 spine. The finished opening when tied closed is 4 1/2. It's got a gator mouth on it. I love a full journal. I wanted a journal that covered every day of the year that I could write in. And I love this. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it or it's really not in the colors that I normally use for myself. So I probably will list it on Etsy, but I'm not positive about it. It's got a pretty little dangle here with some precious stones and just some cute beads that the accident and a little ribbon, and that's in a little grommet at the top, and lace to cover the spine. Not that it needed to be covered up, but it just added a little softness to the upholstery fabric that I put on here. I was afraid that was going to be too harsh. It's like 60s to 80s style and definitely 60s, 70s color family. Everyone went to appliances, these colors. If they weren't avocado green, they were in the harvest gold, I think they called it, for everything. But anyways, it's got a ribbon tie closure. And let me undo that. Plenty of ribbon to go around twice if you want. Open this. Okay, I'll put the ribbon aside. And on the front, I've got the upholstery fabric. I've got an old vintage piece of lace to soften it. That was another thing I wanted to do. And I like that toning down because it brings out the upholstery fabric that is like grass cloth, but it's soft and it's a fabric. It's like it emulates the grass cloth wallpapers that we used to use at that time factor. I actually was hanging wallpaper in people's homes when this was popular. It was a nightmare because if you got a little bit of glue on anything, you'd forget it. You had to cut more, and length of wall is what you need. So it was a hassle. But anyways, enough of that. I had this little wooden plaque, so I painted it in a gold tone. And then I had this pre-cut clock that I got at a little store, a neighborhood store, and I thought that was really cute. They're kind of a Victorian looking to it, really. Anyways, I covered the inside from a fabric that I'd had for years and years and years. I used to make dolls at craft shows and sell them, and folk art shows, and this was one of the tones that I used. Of course, rustic was big, and primitives and so on, so the earth tones fit in perfect. It's got 4 signatures. Like I said, I wanted to cover every day of the year. So there's more than enough pages in here to do that. Each of the signatures is a wallpaper from probably the 80s time factor there. And it's got a really nice, there's great designs, great color on each one. They're lightweight, so most of them have been reinforced. I put a little label on each one so you could label it whatever you wanted for each section. There are 4. I put a little stamped tag that I used to use on my merchandise. Sometimes I send it with a thank you note with a vintage button on it. Anyways, they have all of them have a finish to them, so you can write on it, but they're sturdy. I like to use the wallpapers. I only have 2 wallpaper catalog books, but they were from that time factor, 60s to the 80s. I take and do what I never knew I was making, but they're calling it masterboards now. But for years, I've taken scraps and glued them down, and then I just do, I might do a pattern with my stitching or just do a haphazard and make sure that every single thing that I glued down is going to stay down. And so I thought this was very attractive with the color tones. So I pre-made several of these on diary pages. that I hadn't used in my own diary. And so I use them for my bases. And then they're sewn, all the pieces are sewn to the base, which is my diary page. But then I sew all the way around when I glue it down to the wallpaper. And I do that front and back. And so for that, to start the first of the year, we might get snow, stormy clouds. Love this house on the water. Got it from an art book. And then I did a little collage of netting and lace and some more of the lining fabric. And just sewed that all together and put it on that page and sprinkled a little bit of what I call snow with the white splatters. Okay, this is a poem out of a book page, out of a book, and I just love that. And then this image was on the back, and I thought it did pick up the same colors, and I had already thought about opening with a doily. So I have a friend that is a librarian, and she thought of me when they went digital, and so she asked me if I wanted the index cards from the card catalog, and I told her yes, definitely. So I do sell them in my shop. I coffee dyed this one, took a little bit of wallpaper that complements the journal and did a little corner pocket. And then the behind the index card is another piece, and it's been sewn along the top and reinforced and folded over. I don't use just the edge of any paper or book page for my pockets because I think they can break down too easily with the in and out, in and out. So I don't have pockets filled here. Everything that I did put in pockets, I took out and put in the goodie bag. And I do have more in here than I ever put into the journal because I want, if I don't keep it, and I do list it, I would like people to have free reign and put their own personality on the journal. And so I eco dyed, which I know now we're calling botanical staining, I think is what AI said, but I'm still going to continue with the eco dyeing part because I put a whole summer into dyeing so much material, fabric, ribbon, lace, paper, book page, doilies, you name it, graph paper, anything that I could get my hands on, the index cards, and I threw them in the dye bath. And so I just really enjoyed that process, but it was a lot of work because I did it in the summer. I live in the South, and you can't imagine how hot it was out on the deck, and I did it on my grill. Cooked everything and then dried in the yard. And then what I couldn't dry in the yard because of wind or inclement weather, I would bake. And got a little bit different results, but not much, not enough to significantly report on, so to speak. I either have sewn edges, I've added to the edges with different fibers, or I punched the edges. I kind of like that look. And then I got this a long, long time ago, and I don't know. I was making dolls at the time, and I was thinking, how can I use this? And I never did, and I have many colors. So I thought that looked like snow, so I added that. And then I've got another daily journal page from another journal book that I've got, and I added some lace in the snow dots. And then here I took a picture, a winter scene off of the calendar, and backed it with some blue. And then we have, just to decorate the blank page, this is a page from a 1930s French school book. And this is a dyed fabric. It was a white on white pattern. I don't know if you can see that right there. But anyways, I gathered that and used that for an edging. And this is very thin paper, so I reinforced it by folding it over. And then I just did a circle with a brad edition, all out of book pages. And this is grass paper that I got off of Amazon. I did buy some fibrous papers to use in mixed media, and I thought, well, they'll look great in my journals when I started making them. So I'm using that pack that I bought. It wasn't a very big pack, so and they're half a pages. But I think that's pretty and a nice addition with some vintage lace for a tab. And this is scrapbook paper I bought. I think I was going to do scrapbooking and never did. So I have collected some paper along the way, but I'm using it quickly. This is a calendar page with a winter scene, a bridge over water scene, and this is stalagmites or tights. I forget which one that goes up and which one goes down. But anyways, these are coming up, and they put lights behind it in the cavern. I thought that was a pretty picture, and I put it in a cellophane wrapper for a tea bag. This is a flip out page, and I've decorated it with wallpaper and offcuts, a paper ruffle, some antique lace, a paper ruffle on this side with a flip of different papers, and then it flips back this way, and I've done some offcut designs here, some washi tape, a heavy coffee dyed miniature doily, and then layers upon layers with a beautiful pen and ink illustration, and a cute little book page envelope with a little secret inside. Flip that over. My voice is getting attacked by pollen or something, and I'm sorry, it's a little croaky. I've got a map page here from local, maybe it's not, I don't know where I got this from, but anyways, I'm not sure if it's local, but I think it is. Yeah, it's local, West Point. Okay, anyways, I've got a pen and ink on a little, kind of a swatch to put on the end of the page. I thought it was really cute. And it's got a little piece of wallpaper that I've used throughout the journal. This is ego-dyed paper, and on this side I did a collage with a butterfly. And then on this side I had some bright yellow butterflies I had fussy cut. And I was doing a journal for my granddaughter, and so I cut out things that I wouldn't normally, it was kind of cutesy things. But I ended up putting a little bit of inking on it, and it really subdued that brightness and brought out the, this floral is from a seed catalog, which I use in my journals all the time for color. And the background's kind of a lavender, and then I had a little lavender in this paper strip that I had sewn for an edge, and then I put another one on this side with some ribbon and a little pretty flower and a rhinestone. And I brought in the lavender to go with this woman's hat. I just love it. And it's a music sheet of Hello Dolly. And then I did another flip out. This is pen and ink wrapping paper that I'd gotten. It's craft paper, but it's wrapping paper. And I got it from an acquaintance that does architectural drawings. And it was beautiful, and I went to yard sale and picked up several packages. And I splattered a little snow on these pages. I used one of my card catalogs to make a pocket here, and I completely covered it with offcuts and little things that I could find on a how-to page from a how-to workbook, how to can, how to have homestead, kind of. And then I trimmed it out with burlap trim, and I put a little paper in here just so people could see what it is. This is heavy coffee dyed paper, and it was on the bottom of the pile when I baked it, and so it came out totally different than anything else. I'll probably never be able to reproduce that. I'll tuck that back in because it's thin. It doesn't add to the bulk. And then I have a flip up with some metallic wallpaper and some different papers, some lined papers, some blank papers, some from a calendar, and a little offcut from a doily. And I did clip all around the edges. There is some sewing, and it's back covering that work page. I covered it, kind of subdued the pictures. You can still see them, but you don't focus on them. It's the tea bag wrapper that's really predominant. And when you start writing on it, then you won't even notice the pictures anymore. And I did a little collaging here on the back of that Homestead book page. I've got another ruffle from muslin, unbleached muslin, and some more snowdrops. Snowdrops, little handmade tags that the color comes from magazine pages, and I glue them to the base on both sides, and it adds color. And then this was something I just found in my scrapbook stash that I never used, and it's safety pinned on there. Yeah, a little safety pin, brass safety pin. And more splatters of snow, little collaging, butterfly collage, eco-dyed book cover, paper, the jacket, paper jacket from a Great Wild Birds book. I love this book. If you can get it, you'll love it too. You learn so much reading the book, and that's my problem. I always start reading the books before they get dismantled. And of course, they're missing pages or damage to certain areas of the book. And they can't resell them, and nobody really wants them anymore. And so I get them for free at certain locations. Might be my library. I'll pay 50 cents to $1. But sometimes people will give me the book. And so I'll get them for free. And this one I did. And it's great color on the book jacket. And I've taken all the pen and ink drawings out and used them for my journals. I made a cute little pocket here. This was a book page. You can see the writing inside. And the artwork was so pretty. And all I did was add snow to all the berries and the branches to keep with that beginning of the year. Most of us do deal with snow. And there's a pocket here. And of course the jacket's been folded over so it's reinforced. I think I might have, yeah, I put a pocket behind the envelope too. And this is eco-dyed paper. Never going to get that again. It's absolutely beautiful. That's rose leaves. This is stationery that I just love with a dragonfly, and I like to put that in. Just a little rub-on and some burlap trim. This is from a day diary. I love the color and the imagery. And then I just went through my scraps and kind of decorated the back of that diary page. And then I stenciled on book page and punched the edge. And this is a calendar page with snow, bunnies playing in the snow. I thought it was just so precious. And I backed it with a children's book page. And then I've got a little pocket tuck spot, really, of children building a snowman that I thought worked well with that children's book page. And then they're sewing all around. And then a little lace accent, little collaging here on that book page, punch the edge. Tea-dyed paper with very old lace. And then I put a little swatch here with a little heart. February's part of the first of the year, and I just put that in, not particularly on the 14th page or anything like that. Well, it would be 31 plus 14, I guess. But anyways, I just complimented that, I thought, the pages. And pretty little pieces there. And then this is something I like to do to book pages to add to the writing space. Number one, I've decorated with a little bit of the washi tape, and you can see the sewing all around where it connected to another book page. But I reinforce it with tissue paper, and I use white usually. And I did a little stenciling on it in white, but you can write on the tissue paper, and it diffuses the book page printing. But yeah, you know it's a book page. And I used book pages from another book, and I worked on these pockets and did a demo in one of my earlier videos on different pockets you can make. And so I reinforced it down the middle because I had opened and closed it so much in the presentation and working on it and so on. But I love the imagery. I thought it just fit so cute. And put a little snow on the pages. Just really cute, I thought. But different book pages to give a different color. And I love that look. They weren't tea-dyed or anything. That's just the way they are from age. And then you flip over and you've got the tissue paper in the white stenciling washi tape accents still. And on this tea-dye paper, I put an old button onto a little, I think this was cloth. Yeah, it was a little piece of muslin. And then book pages, different various offcuts and book pages that are pleated. And then I've got book page with the gray color here, talking about America. And then a little offcut attached to the edge. And look at the color, it just is perfect. This is the children's book page, and I put a little tab with a little bit of offcuts there, back to the bunnies playing in the snow. And I collaged on the back of the book page. In fact, this is from a book. And then this is just old masking tape that it fell off a box, and so I saved that and glued it down. Some washi tape. Very vintage. It's from the 30s, this lace, and that's the natural color. And then I stenciled, and then I did a little collaging on the back with this diary page, and I love the color and gave you some writing space, accents of snowdrops, all offcuts, some book page, and lived beautifully with a little collage, some burlap. And then a collage up at the top. Use some threads that I save. Keep them in a bag. They're the pieces that are on the end of your sewing strips. So pretty rose leaves again. A little collage again. And the book page. And I used a drugstore bag as a pocket. And I'll leave that in there. It's thin notepad paper. And you can see it goes all the way to the bottom, so it's a long pocket. And then burlap trim, a doily trim, a little flower with a little fake rhinestone there, and we're all attached to the backpack, book jacket of the Wild Birds. And then on this side, I've got one of the pen and inks that came out of this. That's the second one in this signature, in fact. And printer paper with the snowdrops, and not to be too repetitive, I decided to do a little bit of old receipt book and some washi tape to decorate now, and gives you plenty of writing space still all the way around and through. And then on this side, little snowdrops and a ruffle. And this is book page, and I covered it with another. This is a printable from one of my, I'm not selling them, I'm just using them. I punched the edge here after I attached it, and left it ragged over here on this side. But these are copies of a photo book and the background, and I thought it was really unique, so I love that look. So I backed that book page with that one. I backed this book page with this one, and then all of this rippled white is from a paper lantern hanging on my back porch, and it got old and started falling apart, and so I saved it, and I'm using that throughout. More of the antique lace, washi tape, music sheet paper, reinforced on the edge, and it's been tea-dyed. And then I have just a magazine weight. It's from a book, but it's a bird picture. Complements the imagery on both the pages. There's red on both pages. These are the birds flying south, Canadian geese, I think they are. Little collaging on book page on a library pocket. And then I've stenciled an envelope and attached this little cutout from, I think this was a calendar book too. And then this has been backed with a lighter fabric so you can see what's inside better. And there are things here to tuck into this envelope, and that's attached to this book page. No, this is not a book page. I'll tell you about this in a second. But anyways, I left this as a pocket too. And then I sit and make little flower button, button flowers, I guess I would say it backwards. And this is some tags from offcuts. But I punch out these little flowers and I sew them to a little round paper disc. And then sometimes I French knot them. And then I put an old button that complements. And then I've got them ready to attach to a journal. And I think they turned out really pretty. But this is cardstock weight paper. And I got that from a box of handkerchiefs, 12 by 12, a little more than 12 by 12, of handkerchiefs back in the early 70s. And my father had bought them and thought that I could use them for dresses on my dolls. And I did use them on for years and years and years. And then when I quit making dolls for sale and doing the art shows and the folk art shows and the craft shows, I was left with surplus. So I started selling them on Etsy, and I have very few left. I do have some, but very few. But this was in between each set because you got 3 designs in each box. So there were a dozen in each box. And so I thought that was really great. And I saved the paper because it aged darker in portions than others. This is eco-dyed writing paper for a composition book. And you can see this, the spine, the veins, the outline of the leaf. This was a, the predominant leaf in here was from a fig tree. We have 2 of them. I sewed all the way around just to reinforce it, put some snowdrops on that. We're back to the map and a ruffle, and I'll swatch the calendar page of the snow on the mountainside, and the scrapbook paper, the grass cloth, a side corner pocket with some old lace, and a calendar picture of a moose, I think it is, might be elk. Anyways, it's a winter scene, and I sprinkled some dots, snowdrops on that. Then we're back to the snowdrop tooling and tea-dyed paper punched on the end. We've got the doily that's been tea-dyed, and that beautiful page from a poetry book that I focused on that one aspect at the beginning. And so I did a collaging on this picture. And then you have writing space automatically in the page. It's got the crocheted lace, I think I just say that, and this beautiful cardinal picture, winter scene. And I have a little bit of this lined craft paper, and it's blank on the other side. And I glued it down because I didn't like what the image was here. And then I did a little bit of accents with washi tape. We're back to collaging again and sewing. And this time I did a zigzag. And then we're at the end of that first signature. And now we're on signature 2. Got a label, washable, wipeable wallpaper jacket, and sewn all the way around to reinforce it. The manufacturing information was on this page. And so I took this great image from a floral book I have and made a giant belly band. And you don't have to use it as a belly band. It's pretty to look at. Beautiful color. Thought it went great with my little, I played around with some watercolors. And so I had this little mushroom image, and I scanned it onto a book page. I think it's like from an atlas, and then I punched the edge. And I played around on Canva with some labels. And I thought that was beautiful accent. This one too, on the tea dye, just to break it up from being plain. This is eco-dyed paper with a butterfly swatch and some burlap trim. And on this page I have pen and ink, a little bit of decoration there with some stickers. That was kind of a haphazard thing. I printed one side of paper, didn't realize it was sticker paper, so on the other side, I didn't even look, and I threw it all into a dye bath of tea, I think it was. Might have been coffee, but anyways, it was these half moon stickers on the back that you peel off for a circular sticker. And so I'm reusing them. And that's just a sticker from scrapbooking. And music sheet paper, I punched the edge. This is really a delightful thing that came across. My daughter, one of my daughters, my oldest daughter, she wanted to do some crafts herself. So she came in and forged through all the stuff I have, and what's mine is hers, and same thing with my other daughter, if you're a friend. And I am very much in sharing. But anyways, she did something I like a book page, and I use them naturally. I do eco dyeing and tea dyeing, coffee dyeing, but she painted on this. And this was a leftover, and she let me have it, splattered it with metallic gold, and I just thought it was scrumptious. It was beautiful. So anyways, I just cut the edge, and then I put a double atlas page formed into an envelope, and I had already experimented a little bit with some table linens, and I think this was from like a furniture scarf embroidered by my grandmother, or it may be even great-grandmother, and put a little tab on it, and did the same scanning on and printing on this side of the almanac page. And it's been folded over, and you've got, some reinforcement for that envelope. That was real cute. And then I've got some eco paper here and the offcuts. I sewed that all over the index card. You've got a belly band here, a belly band here, and then it flips over on this side, and you have another belly band. And this is where it's a strip where you put the children's name. I used to be pre-K aide, and so on their desk you would put this strip of colorful writing, kind of heavy cardstock label-like type thing. It was like in a roll or strips of it you could buy at the teacher store. And you would, the teacher always loved to, whatever teacher you work for, they all have great handwriting. And so they would love to write the child's name on it and put it at the top of the desk, and that was their assigned seat. And so they always had that particular seat or desk. And these were little gift cards I thought were really cute. And I never thought I was going to bring in color like this. It was going to be just muted colors. But I thought this was fabulous in here. So I was looking through a book for other colors that I could use to go with this page. And I found this book page, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'd never put that in this journal. But look how great it works. Is that perfect or what? And so I took this book page, folded it over so it fits, and then I added a page from a calendar. We're moving into spring. There's a little snow here left over. The scene was beautiful, and so I put this it was a devotional book, and so it was outdated, and so I took this and added to it. I put almanac page here. I've got this great plain paper that I punched on either end and did a little decorating on that. That's kind of a marbled paper. And then book page, pocket on book page. And this is millinery trim from the 30s. It's got a little, instead of gluing the book page down, I did a flip up, and I put a little drawing on this from another desk calendar page, and the little tab, and then it's splattered with a little bit of snowdrops, I think, or else I'm seeing dots before my eyes right now. Let me pull my sleeves up, they're always dangling. I got a box of these offcut pieces. They were in circles, squares, triangles, strips, frames of circles and ovals, really cool stuff at a yard sale. So I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I thought they were cool, and they were already cut out for me. And I don't have a die cut machine, so I thought that was perfect. And the color I thought worked well, and I took one of my index cards and backed it with book paper, sewed all around, so you have a pocket here and a little tuck spot there. And then to match the colors, I put that sticker that I had on hand from scrapbooking. And then on this, the plain paper is backed by book page sewn around, and I put a little ruffle of muslin there. This is a notes that were recorded on a blank book page at the end of a French book. And so it's from 1939. She signed it. She put her name all over, and it was dated 1939. So I reproduced that those notes. And you can see little accents of red. It's her own handwriting. Some are in ink. Some of her notes were in pencil. And if you get any foreign language books with notes on the book pages inside, I never erase them. I don't try to remove them. I love that. It's part of the history of that book page, so I keep it on there. And so anyways, I reproduced that and put one of my design pages on the back. And punched the edge of the paper. Little sticker on some Eco dyed paper. This is book page, children's book page. And so on this side, I did a little collage at the bottom, gives you a little tuck space. There's labels and lace and ribbon and cardstock, and then you have a flip up. This is a spring scene of birds and some off-cut of coffee dyed paper, and then you have various different papers that I have attached for flip up. And then on this side we have butterfly collage, and then I did one of my t-shirt folds, so you have a pocket here and a pocket here, and I glued it down to almanac page, and then I reinforced it more with some craft paper and an image from a sea catalog that I thought was beautiful. And then the Eco dyeing, that is rose leaf. This is a magazine picture, and I thought it was so beautiful, but I wanted to bring the focus also to the center here and not just have that distract too much. So I did a butterfly collage. Fussy cut that butterfly off book page, and then the collage is several different pieces of book page, and a little ruffle down the edge, and some pinking shears on the ends. And then I glued down a gift from my daughter. She bought me a package of printables from Amazon, and it was different backgrounds. So I use them once in a while. I don't use them a lot in my journals. I might have one page or an envelope made out of one. I love them. They are slick. The paper is sturdy. I turned it into a pocket. And then this is glued down. You've got writing space on 3 sides. So I just thought that was very pretty. It looks like crumpled antique paper. And so I use that sparingly. There wasn't a lot, but I do use it, and I love it. And so if I use it, I tell you about it. Otherwise, it's my own Eco dyed papers. Cardstock just decorated, punched on the edge. Some stamping on tea dyed. A children's book page from like a dictionary with some hand-dyed lace, crocheted lace, and off-cut. This is Trader Joe's paper. I love the colors, illustrations. They do the greatest paper. A pocket I made out of book page, and I took this image from another book page of pen and ink, put some washi tape on it, and then I made a pocket. And then on this side, I took another book page, and it was very attractive. And this is the beginning, the opening page of this particular book. It's beautiful. The illustrations are gorgeous. So if you get your hands on it, get one. And so I just did a flip out, I don't know, an open flip out with a little collage of cheesecloth and old pictures and book page from a French book, and there's underlining and note taking. And this was an old piece of cellophane tape I got off a package, and so I glued that down. It's not handmade or anything from me. It's just the real tape. And I glued it because it wasn't sticky anymore. That's why it came off the package. But anyways, I did a collage here. And more of that. I put some snowdrops because you might see in certain parts of the world, you're going to see some dots of sprinkles of snow still in the beginning of spring. And then I did a collage on book page, and I did it an envelope on this side, and then no, I misspeak. This is an envelope collaged with book pages, handmade paper, writing paper, drawing paper, receipts, upside down, forward, sideways, print. There no rhyme or reason to it, and music sheet paper. Reinforcement here, it's been attached to a book page, and I put a dried pressed fern leaf that I have and put that in there. And then on this book page, I added an old photograph from a book. It's a book page. And then I had these little kind of heavy-duty cotton feeling corners. They came in something I ordered on Amazon. Didn't connect with the product I ordered, but I saved them, and I thought that was really cool. And I love that picture. It reminds me of springtime dresses. And there used to, in those days, there was a competition, make your own dress for $1. And could you? And I don't know if they did or had them made for them, but sure is a pretty picture. Book page again, I punched the edge. Like I told you, I played around with watercolor and pen and ink a little bit. So I just did a collage of book pages and a little bit of drawing paper and tissue paper and sewing. And then on this side, I did a reinforced book page pocket and some decorative washi tapes and a fussy cut image I thought was kind of neat because of photographs. You know what I'm saying? Pointing to this way to the photograph. But anyways, eco-type paper and Trader Joe's and the children's book page, a little flower with a vintage button, tea-dyed with a beautiful butterfly collage, that cardstock from the handkerchief books, a little tag of flag, tag, however you want to say it, and a little stamping that was fussy cut, butterfly and the flags there. I love this picture with the tomatoes on it and then the garden book, a seed catalog, really. But I wanted to diffuse it so you could write on the page, so I put the tea-dyed tea bag paper and some burlap trim. And this is from a desk calendar that was almost every page had a different bird. And I loved it, so I put the bird at the top and a book page with the corner is from a seed catalog and sewed on. And then a little sticker came in the mail. Eco-dyed paper again. This is almanac pages, sorry. My husband's a big gardener, so he always gets almanacs, probably a couple of a year. This is probably 1969 in that, in late 60s, early 70s, if not, because he saved them all. Seed catalog picture, book pages, just took and did a little collage there with a tab on the top. Put a doily to reinforce the pages of the almanac. It's double thick, but they're still fragile at times. And I just did a paint strip there that picked up the colors of what I'm doing. This is 2 book pages from the same book, a children's book. And so I made a pocket on this side, put a fussy cut from another book there, and glued that, some washi tape, accents along the edge. And then I had this from scrapbooking days, so I did a little collage of, book page, and then put the kite on it. It's 3D. It's adds to the bulk in their book, in the journal. And that's eco-type paper and my own image and that 1939 notes by Phyllis. And this is a book page for, I forgot, I think it was how to paint images and so on. But anyways, it's got a ruffle and it's reinforced and sewn all around to that paper. And then we have the double book page. This is folded over and doubled up, and it's got a great color. And I added an offcut of tea dye and this little sticker I had from scrapbooking days. And this is book page. And then on this side, I put one of the index cards to make a book page, and some offcuts, some little baking sheet from my baking, the tea dyed and coffee dyed papers, and eco dyed papers and offcuts. And then we have a blank piece of paper that's been punched on both ends, and a fussy cut from a floral book. This is almanac page, backed on that pink that I thought I'd never use, and then on that yellow card that I showed you in the beginning of the signature. I put this image from a seed catalog, and then more image from a seed catalog to make the tab, and it picks up all the colors together. And then I just recently found this rickrack in my stash, and it's very, very old. And I did a little Canva labeling combination thing there. And this is a notepad with that pretty little bird on it, and everything's been glued down to a library pocket. So that's really cute, I think, and writing space. And then the leftover of that wallpaper, I had just this little corner piece. It was such a small section in this batch of paper I got from a yard sale. But anyways, it looked plain on the music paper, so I added the brown paper ruffle to it, and we're on my daughter's wonderful paper. And then this image comes from Catalog, and that's music sheet paper. And this is the architectural wrapping paper. Eco paper with pressed flowers on this, and some dyeing. And then this is backed with craft paper with some white stamping on it. And this is all leisure paper that's been ruffled, and an antique button, vintage button, sewed onto the paper. And it's real crinkly. This is tea dyed, of course, and tea bag attached to the index from a atlas, and the reproduction of my little, I did them very light, my images, just so they wouldn't be too dark, and I wanted some color and uniqueness in the journals I make. And then I backed it with the tea bag paper, and some trim of burlap there. And then we're at the end of that signature, and we're at wallpaper that's beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? And then I formed a pocket because there was a little bit more that length, and I didn't want to cut it off. And then I backed the information. I glued down some note paper, and you can write on that. And then I decorated it with a flower, a cloth flower with a little brad that's decorated with a fig rhinestone, and different little fabrics that have been dyed, and offcuts, and then lace. And there's 2 layers of 2 different laces there on the pocket. And then we come to signature number 3. It's covered in wallpaper, just as I said, all of them are. But this one's got an actual texture to it. It looks like linen, and it's in this great neutral tone. I just absolutely love it. And it's got its own little label, of course. And what happened with this was it was 1.5 times what I needed. So you'll see what I did in the back. It's kind of a nice little treat. But for the reinforcements to make this not so thin, I sewed all around it, and it still felt a little too soft for me. And so I like a little more structure in my covers. It just depends on the journal. But anyways, I found this piece of scrapbooking paper, and it's cardstock weight, and it's got texture to it, and it's just a deep, rich gold. And I wasn't planning on using any scrapbook paper in here, but I just thought that worked perfectly with the journal. And so I made pockets on that side and on the back of the signature. And then back to my calendar pages sewn to music sheet. And I thought that just looked like the heat of summer. I experimented with a little bit of paint here. This is not ink. I made quite a long journey through the craft world as a painter, and I actually did teach classes too, and enjoyed it thoroughly. And so I pulled out some of my old brushes and so on, and I just did a little stencil, and I used cherry red and kind of a burnt burnt red or rust color. And I thought it turned out really, really pretty, and it worked for this journal, I thought, because this is one of my quilted pieces again. It's attached to book page, and I have all these different layers and offcuts and so on, and I've sewed them down, and that hint of red right there popped with that, and then the gold here I thought worked well with that. That's an offcut of scrapbook paper too. And on the back, so there'd be writing room. I mean, you can write on a sewed page, but it's not as pleasant, as enjoyable as writing on paper. And so I put a little tea-dyed paper there. And then this is a leaf that was dry, actually, on the ground. I picked up two. I thought they were so unique. But anyways, this is cardstock, and I took a photograph of it and printed it and put it on there, and then scanned it and then printed. And I've got some lace on the end of that. And then I did a honeycomb stencil. I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold this up. We have a lot of bees in the summer because of our gardening and so on. So I thought that would be neat to use the honeycomb stencil. And then I did a little hidden paper clip here on this page, and another pocket with the library index cards that I collaged on that one. And that's a pocket. Butterfly collage. This came from a date book, diary, desk book. But anyways, I put lined yellow writing paper here and a little lace and did some collaging on the top. I thought it turned out really pretty. And another little pocket with the honeycomb stenciling. And then this little image came from, well, I'm using a card that had this little gray stripe here in an emblem. And it came in the mail as junk mail. And so I like the weight of it when it's great for this pocket. And so I covered it up with the brown paper and this cutout from an art book. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And I did design some labels, plain labels with a red trim around it. So I printed that on an index page from a map book, an atlas. Put a ruffle on that book page. This is the hanky paper, cardstock. We're in summer, so I just thought this image of a shell and carrot and, snails and things like that was perfect. And then I put a little tag that I made out of a butterfly and some offcuts. This is one of my eco papers. You can see and feel the impressions of the plant life. And this one was done with ferns and marigolds. Turned out cute, and I sewed the edge. Found this little art print. I really like the colors. I thought the modern art was wonderful to go with the cover of the style. And so I just did a little washi tape to attach it so it's removable. And eco paper with a little collaging here. And these are notes from one of the high school books that I had. So I just put that in there. And speaking of honeys, I had this come, I unsolicited through the mail. They give you these pages that give information about nature's, the value of healthy eating and that kind of thing. And so there was a focus on honey, and I just thought that was perfect for this journal with the summertime and the bees. And then I did this wonderful edge here. It's got yarn and twill tape and gold lame tape, ribbon, and offcuts of threads and muslin and lace and yarn and silk It's just a combination of everything, and it's just, I think, it's very pretty. And I bought years ago one stem hydrangea. So these are a couple of the petals from the, you know how big they are and full. So you get a ton of petals. So I used a couple of these here to decorate, and just a little image there. And then I cut this out of a seed catalog and did some layering on book page and added some lace and some burlap, lace, and a picture on almanac page. And then this is children's book page with burlap. And this is an eco page. It's got a lot of grays and yellows and golds, so I thought that children's book page called for this to be next to it. Just a great combination. The yellow from that back page, the beiges and gray and all. I just think it all blends very well. And there was another extension of that strip that I used on the side of this page. That's the other part of that strip. It's probably about 12 inches long in that eco page. And I cut this out of a garden book, and it's a watercolor image, and I thought it looked great with this stationery that's so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And just added little things here and there. This is Tuck Spot, beautiful, to complements this and this. I just think this is paper, a paper ruffle. I just used tissue paper that I tea dyed, and then I cut it in strips and ruffled it. It's real soft, it's very full. On the back of this page, I did a pocket here in an envelope, and so you've got a place to put special things that you are interested in. Let me get a piece of paper so I can do that. Maybe show you. Yeah, there you go. Same thing with this. Got the pocket with the envelope. And then this page is a book page, just completely decorated. I absolutely love that image. And then I did a little strip here of these cute little punch outs that I made. And then a Canva tag that I created and layered. And then I backed with this green. I thought it really was a tribute to the 60s color range. They loved avocado, and so I thought that was really cute. And then you've got little pockets here from the book page on this side. I flipped it up, made pockets on this side, and there's some washi tape. And then this has an ink pen. So I thought that was, I cut that out of a magazine and made a little collage there. I thought that was cute since we're journaling. And this is an offcut of some scissors that I cut a piece of construction paper, and this normally would have gone in the trash, but I added it to the bottom of that, did a little butterfly collage. And then we have book page pocket, decorated a little bit. I left the almanac paper in for you. It's thin, so it doesn't add much bulk. We've got a double pocket on this side, okay, and then a flip up, so you can write here, and a butterfly collage. And then this is a print of an old apron I've got, and it was pink and gray, and I changed the colors to browns. You can change the colors in anything on your computer. So I did the earth tones with that one, and I absolutely love it. And it's a family heirloom piece. I've got some burlap trim on the side here, double pocket on this side too, and it's all book pages, and a butterfly collage and a flip up so you can write. And butterflies down this edge. Another little index card, library index card, backed with book page, and then decorated. So cute. Little ruffle on this page with the antique button. And springtime, summertime sunflowers. Gorgeous picture out of a garden book. Little collaging, lace, offcut of some Ecotide. A pocket, book page pocket on brown sacking. I love this guy. He's so funny. Just interesting. Did a little collage and formed it with some sewing around it and a pen and ink from the bird book. And it creates a tuck spot. And then a little tab here. Some of the fabric I've used for a ruffle. Same fabric. And then it's got a little vintage button. But look at the ferns. Hope you can see them. I'll lift it up, see if you can see them. Yeah, that's better. Isn't that gorgeous? The color's fantastic. It's almost like an avocado dye, even though it's not. And then the book page, and I collaged on it so that, you know, you had more writing space. And I punched the edge. Did a little collage there. Decorated this cardstock. So pretty. And a pocket out of a very old envelope from my dad's old office supplies, attached to a directory. And then I decorated this page with writing paper and a paper ruffle and this little flower with a vintage button. And then I found this art book that had this lady sitting by the sea. And she's reading a book, and I thought, oh, man, I got to put that in a book for summer sometime. So I remembered her and attached her. And she's just attached with washi tape, so you can remove that if you want. Then this book page is a diary page. I just collaged on it, thought that was great. We always grow asters and marigolds in the summer. They keep the slugs away from the food production. So I thought that was pretty. And then a cutout from a seed catalog and a butterfly collage, lace. This is a diary page, and it's got blues and yellows and orange, so I thought it was perfect to add some of that paper in here. And the honeycomb stenciling. I left room for anybody to do decorating as they wanted. Now we're at the end, and I wanted to show you that extended amount of wallpaper. Flips out. We've got a pocket again here, and I do have some paper in this one. And then we have a flip up of all these pages. Okay, that's the end of that one. And we're on to number 4. It's got its label. Pretty washable, wipeable wallpaper again, and I've zigzagged all around it, and it's been backed with 2 layers of book pages, and then I have a flip out right here with a neat little picture on the back, covered in book page, the library pockets, covered in different book pages, the round textured paper, and then that great little house. And then I had this image from an art book, and I put that on. And you've got a pocket, and then it's a flip out, so it's just really fun. And this French book page is beautiful color, but it's fragile. So I glued it to printer paper, put one of my little button flowers, different papers, drawing paper, construction paper. I found this fabric, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's perfect for this journal. And so I just cut this it's like little images of stamps on it. It's really cute. And I put cheesecloth and some of that white on white that's been tea dyed, and the laces, and that piece. I just thought that was so cool. And then the butterfly collage complements your eco paper. And then on this page, I've got a collage on this side. And then on this side, I've got a butterfly collage. And I have a pocket behind the pocket and a pocket in the pocket. And from a catalog a painting I cut out and attached to book page that's attached to the library pocket. Lots of layers. Now this is children's book page. And I had a tea bag, an empty wrapper for a tea bag. I thought, what can I make out of this? So I put some of my vellum that's been eco-dyed I double it up, sewed it around, put a little gathering of things in it. So we have a tag and some paper attached, and that goes right in that pocket. Flip this over, and you have another pocket. Let's see what's in here. Pull it out, and you have a little seed catalog image and a little booklet with papers. Okay, so that goes right in the pictures from my husband's seed catalog. That goes in the pocket. Flip it back. It's attached with some offcuts, and I just sewed right through on this side to hold it tight. And so you've got little surprises there. I love that children's book page. Look at the color. And just a stamp to decorate that page. A collage of stamps and cutouts from calendars. And I found this. It was in a magazine. It's just a little piece that I cut around, and it says Barnes, and I found that a long time after I had decided to put this barn picture in here, and that's from a catalog. I mean a calendar. I keep saying catalog. I meant calendar. This is a scale printout from my dad's office, so I took a section of it and attached it to this book page, just to kind of give you more writing space and more support. And then I had this little brown paper bag that I had folded in half, and then I folded the edge down, and then I folded it so it has a pocket. So on this side, I put a little cutout from one of my husband's seed catalogs, decorated it with some corners and the lace. And then on this side, I just did washi tape, and my daughter, who painted on the music sheet paper earlier in the one of the signatures, she had this in one of the just brought me back a stash of things she didn't want anymore from her little crafting time. And so I put that on there, and so she wrote stuff. I don't know what she was writing about, but I think, don't we put stuff in our junk journal? So I thought it was perfect. And then this is from a burlap bag my husband got somewhere for shopping. And tea-stained, music sheet paper with this fabric ruffle. It's just a band of fabric, and it's not serged on either end. And it was rolled on a spool. And so I just took some of it and pleated it and added that to the music sheet pad paper, and then lace on this side and a butterfly collage. This little piece of paper is a torn section of it. I bought a packet of, maybe it was a book. It might have been a book, but of stickers. And the backing has this print on the back. So I do use that in my signature sometimes. So I just use that for an accent. I thought it kind of brought out the little bit of accent color there to this. And then in a how to make pockets out of book pages video I've made before, I did this book page. It's a double page. The other side's on the back end of the signature. But I collaged a lot of pieces. There's that sticker paper backing again, paper ruffle. This is book page. It's one of the end pages, and it flocked. So, that damages a book. Put some very old anti-lace here, and I thought she was fitting for what I was doing in this book, the colors, the style. And then this just from a paint book, a how to paint book. It just shows you some little paint swatches. So I used that because it accented the colors of the journal. And the children's workbook. And then an offcut of the painted music sheet paper that my daughter did. I had this little strip, so I attached that to this eco paper. You can see this. This was purple basil. You can see all the leaves, the stems. The leaves are kind of ruffly, and it just makes such a great impression. Beautiful. And the stenciling on the book page. This, I printed her out on a book page that was from like aeronautical dynamics, something like that. It was above my pay grade, so to speak. But anyways, I cut her out, and then I had this little oval from a book, just the oval part. I didn't take any of the print from it or anything like that. And so I sewed her to the frame, and then I attached that to a piece of art, a page from an art book. And the colors were perfect for this journal. And then on the back, I just did a bunch of collaging, a little bit more of the music page that I used there and previously. To just it all ties together, even though that's just a little smidgen. It just is perfect to accent that. And here's another one of my little quilts, and I made a tuck spot out of it, and I glued it down here and here and here. And so it goes down to where my hand is resting as the opening, and you just slide whatever you want in there. And then an index card pocket with some washi tape, and it's been dyed in a dye bath out there on my deck. Writing paper, and I made a tab out of a calendar cutout and some fabric, and just layered them on this side. And then another collage here. There's Phyllis from 1939, her French book. Tea-dyed, stenciled. Sunflowers. I mean, that's just into summer. Beautiful. And I did a little teeny corner double pocket here. So you can slide little things in, little tuck spots for tickets or whatever you choose to save. Some washi tape. And on this side, I've got just a really cute cutout from a magazine that says "Write," and it shows old pens, and it says the word pen. And then I have some of that old masking tape again with some old bias tape. And then hand-dyed crocheted lace on this book page. And then I added this picture and label and some offcuts to the back of the book page. And then this is a lunch bag that I dissected completely and then put back as a triple fold. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it, and then I thought I'll put that as the center of one of my signatures. And so I put tabs on the very middle, so that's your divider. So you have a pocket here and a pocket here. And I decorated it on both outsides the same. And then on the inside, I just had this I had a wonderful sticker, and I added some washi tape. And then I had this wonderful picture from a seed catalog and some graph paper, a book page, some tea-dyed paper, and then it's all attached, been sewn and attached to the bag. And so you have two pockets over here too to store things in. And then that's a collage on the back of this book page, and more of the crocheted lace. This is from a calendar. Some of my daughter's gold painted paper, music paper, and then I've got some fabric there, a fabric strip. And this can be a belly band. No, I didn't. I glued this down because I forgot about that. I did some stamping on it, but it gave support to the book page because it's thin. And then this drawing paper's thin. And so I just glued it together. And then we have, this image came from a history book. And then if you flip it up, you have all this writing space. Some of it's tea-dyed, some of it's lined, different papers. And then we are back to stenciling on book page. And tea-dyed, and 1939, that's Phyllis's notes. Collaged all over, writing paper with a little decoration. This is wallpaper from probably 40s. It feels like silk. And this is a little ruffled book page. Some lace on book page. I cut this out of, where did I get that? It was a calendar. It was a calendar, I think calendar, not book page, because it's got some weight to it. And it makes a belly band on the card. And then I just did faux tickets that I made out of book pages. Did a little stamping on them, a little stenciling on them, and had fun making them, and then put a little piece of fabric behind it. More of my daughter's music sheet paper and a little collaging there. Stenciling, that eco-dyed paper. See the basil leaves? You can actually see how they're ruffled. Pretty cool. And a children's book page. And the pockets to that double book page that I have, and I decorate it with this lovely lady and the two girls, and they're like mid-1800s probably, and the lace and collaging behind it on book page. And then I did, this is a book jacket too, and it was damaged, so I only had the back to use. And I just did a flip up of all these different papers that you can write on or use. And the music sheet paper with the ruffle, tea-dyed, and envelope. And I put, these are dogwood petals. I was thinking originally when I made it that they came from my hydrangea, but they didn't. This is a leaf from the hydrangea, but the two flower petals are actually from my dogwood. And then I put a little sticker there, and I've collaged the whole thing in book page and attached it to tea-dyed paper for writing space. And then one of my daughter's collages I added to this journal that's got a pocket. And I did a folded corner of book page, decorated it with an offcut that I sewed, and a cute little butterfly cut out, and some lace, and you have a pocket that you can put something in. And then another flip up. I love to give plenty of writing space, and that is underneath is a hidden pocket out of almanac pages. And we're in the last signature, so that would be fall to Christmas. And so I had these little turkeys, so I added one on this side, and that's wallpaper. And the almanac pages are reinforced. That's a very old piece, 1969, there's the date. Another little turkey here. And it says short notes from all over with the little teeny turkey. And the lace and book page sewn to the top of that pocket, and it's reinforced. So you have a pocket on both sides. And then some cardstock that's been punched on the edge, and book page punched on the edge. And then more paper that's been, it's really office paper that had something printed on it. And so I got it from my dad's office supplies too. And I just attached this wonderful book page with this beautiful image and this little poem. And then on this side, I put some of that architectural, just a strip of that architectural paper. And I just think it looks really pretty, and everything kind of melds together. This actually was picked up in her trunk. I just loved the way it all came together beautifully, I think. Made a whale tail tag and decorated with a sticker, and this was an offcut of some eco-dyed, and a calendar image of the fall on this construction paper. And then I fussy cut this out of a magazine. And then I made a pocket here out of a Christmas card I had saved, but the leaves are all gone, and you know, it's the beginning of winter. And cardinals, robin redbreast, I think that is, and snow splatters and offcut. And then lace on book page backed by the printer paper. And then I've got a flip up here with the antique lace on the old book page, and a little Christmas tree attached, a little teeny button. And then over here, mistletoe above a cat, and it had blue accents, so I backed it with this little winter scene from a magazine. And then I put a little lace on it, and the strip of snowmen. And then we're at the end. I just loved it. I thought it turned out so, so, so beautiful. And I'd like to walk you through the things that are in the, if you just wanted to see the walkthrough of the journal, thanks for watching. You stayed a long time. I appreciate that. But I just really worked hard on this months and months, like I told you, and I really loved working on it. And I think it turned out so great. And then this packet goes with it, and it is chock full. And if you have time, you can leave now, or I'll go ahead and continue on. So I'm going to go for it. Let me open it since it's noisy. I'll repackage it probably. So it has a new sticker on it. Put that aside. Okay, I included a backer board. I did stenciling on, oh my gosh, I can never think of this. The white paint that you put on it. It's kind of chalky feeling. Like plaster. I can't think of it. Gesso. I gessoed a book page, and then I stenciled on it. And then on this side, I just collaged behind the picture, and then I cut this picture out, and I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've got a little bit of washi tape here, a sticker, some paper clips, sorted paper clips, some fabric swatches, stamp, some tags. You can attach with pins, some labels. I think this is a printable, and some sparkly paper, a little seed envelope. My husband puts the seeds in these. A little pen and ink I did years ago. This is a sticker, and this is a printable. This is a sticker sewn to cardstock. A little bit of that heavy tea-dyed paper that I showed you earlier. This is a printable, I think, and a label, a tag. Well, you can fold it and use it for a tab, or you can use it for a label. And some textured paper. Same thing here. This one is too. It feels like linen. And this one's like a weave and a little bit metallic. I have dried some of my herbs and so on. And this is a leaf from my Japanese maple. And so I attached it to book page, put a little bit of wax paper over it. And then I got book page on the back too. And it's just to put like on the side of a page or an accent at the top of a pocket. And this is a cutout from a book, and I thought the image was great, so you can use that. Little sticker of a pickup truck loaded with daisies. Another little fussy, offcut strip that you can use to accent a book page. Let's see, what else have we got here? Stickers, more stickers, and labels. And this can just go over a page, sideways, or over the top. You can glue it down, make it, whatever you want to make it into, but it's collaged and works perfectly in the book, the journal. And you've got an envelope here with some stickers in it, and I attach that anywhere you want. I paper clip this kind of thing that's decorated on both sides, and you want to be able to open it. So I just paper clip that to the side or top of the page. Some handmade tickets, a little vellum, and some circles, just out of book page, and stickers and stamps. Some are handmade stamps. This is an image from my husband's seed catalog, and so then I attach it to stamp-shaped paper. This is just chipboard butterfly in a swatch. And let's see, I have a, oh my gosh, I've gone blank on what this is. I made it, it's out of book pages, and it's a tassel. Sorry about that, a tassel, paper tassel. You can attach it to the front or where the jewels are hanging on the spine. You can attach that. Sticker, clue card, and more stickers and circles and labels. And this is from French to English flashcard. More labels. More tags and labels and butterflies, stamps and map circles. This girl's precious. I've had her tucked into a ruffle on a page in the winter. Isn't she darling? Thought these guys were interesting. And this set of girls. And I just dropped one of your stickers. Sticker label, printable little wood leaf, more stamps, more stickers, a whole sheet, whole page, a little poem on vellum sewn. I thought this little note paper had this wonderful little snowman with the two children. I thought that was cute. And I loved this image of the Christmas trees, so that would be cute in the fourth signature. And then we have more writing paper. Same here, same here. One of my attachments, you can put this as a top, the bottom, a side, in a pocket. Some more collaging on a scrap of cardstock. This is for you to, it's a coin roller package, but the color's perfect, so you can use that as a belly band. Same thing here. You've got journal cards. And this is just a collage of paper, so I think is wonderful. So you can put that in the summer maybe. I've got these bag of carrot seeds, some extra index cards, stickers and cutouts from magazines, tags. Oh, here's another. So that makes 5 paper clips there. Little punch out of a flowers included. And this is some, just a scrap of eco-dyed paper. And I thought that was cute. You could add somewhere hot cocoa, hot tea, and a pretty floral. Some writing space. Love this backed on book page. So you can use this as a pocket or glue it down somewhere or just put it in a tuck spot. Writing paper. I think there's 2 pieces. A tag, sticker, some with that wallpaper that coordinates with what's in there already. I love this old card, bridge scoring card. This was the cover of the book of scorecards for playing bridge, and it's so beautiful. I love that. And this is just offcuts that I have that blend with the and another foldable envelope. You can seal it, so you can make an envelope out of book pages. And this is book page that's been attached to a blank book page. And they have that wonderful tone. I sewed all around it to reinforce it, and you can put that in a pocket. Plenty of writing space. Some more little buttons and brads and some bulb pins. They're like safety pins if you're not familiar. Just a different shape. Book page, beautiful winter scene, bird, construction paper, another bird, some tea-dyed cardstock. This is so cute. I had fun making this one. And this is book page and more book page, and then it's got music sheet paper, some writing paper on it, and decorated down here. And just a cute little swatch, and to show you it's a belly band there. And then another flip up of papers. This is the backing to that sticker book I was talking about. And this came off of magazine paper. Came in the mail, junk mail. Construction. No cardstock. This is very vintage tablet writing paper from my dad's office. And you can see it's very faded. And it has a little bit of a tone already on the edges. I love it. Notepad. And this is packaging. And another punch out of a little flower. A couple of those there. And an offcut, just a great tone. And this is book page with a picture from a book page that I just stuck to it. I just thought interesting expressions there. You can use it or throw it out. Index card, eco-dyed. This is kindergarten writing paper, and I just did a little collage of flowers on it. This is an office calendar page from very many years ago, probably 60s. Writing paper, children's writing paper. It's got a little bit of the stamping and that paper lantern paper to make a tab on it. So cute. And time card. It's been inked. More washi tape. More flowers. So this one's felt, and this is a paper one. And another cutout of a sunset. I mean, it's just perfect combination. I've had this for years and years and years. I think I used to get this magazine. I don't know if it's in print anymore. But look at this. I mean, you don't even need to do anything to that. It's just beautiful. And that's a neat printable. I think it's a printable. Sometimes people give me things, and I don't know if they're stickers or printables, still start messing with them. This is eco-dyed paper, and I love this picture. Isn't that the prettiest? Very pretty. Tea-dyed, some of the note paper that's lined on one side and blank on the other. Another old envelope, more of that note paper. A winter scene. And I think it's from a book, if I'm not mistaken. More eco-dyed paper. This is the hydrangea. And then this is a piece of the baking sheet paper when it comes out of the oven. The color, wonderful. Another little flower there. And an envelope. And some award paper. It's parchment. And this is just beige paper, tan paper. And then this is embroidery that I scanned and printed out on printer cardstock, and then I backed it with book page. So there you go. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you very much. All's included, and I hope someone really enjoys this journal and all the things that come with it. Yeah, you could take it apart and make probably 4 journals out of everything that's here. It's just overdone, overloaded, and I absolutely love it. I just love it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked the walkthrough, and thank you for being with me. And if you feel like it, like and subscribe. But there you go. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.